Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to our YouTube channel once again. And in this particular video, I want us to go through a tweet which Edwin Sifuna made earlier in the morning. In that tweet, he's listing three things which is suggesting that William Ruto is actually not keen or serious with the bipartisan dialogue which he himself initiated. This is the tweet which Sifuna posted. He's saying, engaging Ruto's seriousness with the so-called bipartisan dialogue he himself called for. Three things. Number one, the insistence on purely parliamentary process is a red flag. Number two, the inclusion of Honorable Kenyan in his team is absolute bad faith and a slap in the face. Number three, the refusal to do anything to lower the price of unga is a deal breaker. Ni haya tu, Edwin Sifuna katoka. So it's now us to try and understand the deeper meaning of this particular post. I want us to do this analysis because of a few facts. Number one, Edwin Sifuna is the Secretary General of ODM Party. ODM Party is the dominant party in Azimio. Edwin Sifuna, as the Secretary General of ODM Party, basically speaks on and for the party, which means whatever Edwin Sifuna posted here, you can't separate from the position of ODM as a political party. And indeed, if you follow very closely what Opio and I, the minority leader, has been saying, you go again to what Olekina has been saying, and not what Edwin Sifuna is saying, there's a way they are converging at a point. So Edwin Sifuna being the SG means whatever he says represents the party. Number two, Edwin Sifuna, in my view, is actually speaking for Raila Odinga. Raila Odinga is speaking to us, Kenyans, his thoughts through Edwin Sifuna, through his party. There is no way Edwin Sifuna can go and publicly make this kind of tweet without considering the implication. Because the talks were just called, a team appointed this side, another one that side. Edwin Sifuna is part of the team. So there's no way he can just go outside there and make this kind of post unless they must have discussed with Raila Odinga. Number three, the other fact that we must know is that Sifuna is a member of the ODM team, the 7-member team, which will be negotiating. So the fact that he's speaking, because you can't convince me that the 7-member team has not met from ODM side. Probably they've met, they've agreed on the way forward, and of course they've already appointed Otienda Molo as the chair of that team. So probably that is the kind of trajectory they are going to take in these particular talks. And lastly, the other fact which you can't deny is that Edwin Sifuna got more votes than Ruto in Nairobi. He had over 700,000, Ruto had 600,000. Which means when Edwin Sifuna speaks, he speaks for a large group of supporters, especially in Nairobi. So I want us to try and figure out the deeper meaning of whatever Edwin Sifuna is trying to say. Before we do that, for those who are watching this channel for the first time, please take a second or two, click that subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support, because without that support, this channel cannot be where it is. And I want to thank you so much, and allow me also to take this opportunity to thank Helen and Robert for your coffee which I received. Thank you so much. If you want to send, the numbers are in the description section of this particular video. And by the way, William Ruto managed to successfully win the support of the church. He radicalized the church. William Ruto has started moving towards mosques. Is there a chance that William Ruto can actually go ahead and successfully brainwash the Muslim community the way he did to the Christian community in the country? Let me read your comments towards that particular direction. And by the way, also, civil servants are yet to be paid. William Ruto is a hustler. And the way he spoke yesterday is kind of I don't know. So what's your thought about the issue of the civil servants? Let us focus on what we want to discuss today. The issue, the three issues which Edwin Sifuna is raising, and I want to analyze them point by point. Point number one, which is raising, is that the insistence on a purely parliamentary process is a red flag. We all know that Raila Odinga issued William Ruto with the three demands. Cost of living, one of them. The servers, one of them. And the last one is the IBC commissioners. When William Ruto met with his team yesterday, parliamentary group meeting, according to insider information, he told them that the issue of the servers is a no-go zone. He also told them that the issue of cost of living is going to remain the way it is, because he is not keen on reintroducing the subsidies. But that's coming in our, I think it is the last point. But why is the issue of parliamentary process becoming an issue to Azimio? When Raila Odinga addressed the nation after the initial address, he suggested kind of an arrangement similar to the Kofi Annan-led initiative, which was not originally according to the plan. So for me, William Ruto is insisting on parliamentary process because he doesn't want the aftermath of BBI to catch up with him. William Ruto really gave BBI a bad name. If you were to move this process out of parliament, then there is a chance that it's going to take the direction of the Building Bridges Initiative process. That is an area which William Ruto is not going to allow. And he's not going to allow that because of his core support base, which is the Kikuyu Nation. Kikuyu Nation would want to have 1 man, 1 vote, 1 shilling implemented in the constitution. That is something William Ruto is not going to allow. So opening window for BBI would mean the Kikuyu Nation will also have that window to negotiate. If you've been keenly following politics, the other day you saw Moses Kuria suggesting that they needed to bring back the 1 man, 1 vote shilling. And in fact, he was very specific that the bursaries should be split into 2, so that one part is split based on numbers. So basically, they are regretting why they opposed the BBI. But BBI, William Ruto gave it a bad name. He would not want a situation where there is any semblance of accepting to go back to BBI. So Edwin Sifuna, if you can understand William Ruto's thinking, then you'll be able to know why he's not willing for that kind of outside parliamentary initiative. And someone was telling me that probably that is the direction which we are going to take, because based on the fact that if you look at parliament, majority leader, majority whip are not part of that. In ODM side, minority leader, minority whip are also not part of this committee, which means probably they are looking at a situation whereby after this committee has drafted their proposals, then they'll take it now outside there. But at this stage, I don't think William Ruto would allow any initiative outside parliament because of the way he gave BBI a bad name. Number 2, the other thing Edwin Sifuna is saying is the inclusion of Honorable Eden Kennan in the team is absolute bad faith and a slap in the face. For me, I've been looking at it from a different perspective. And indeed, I was reading some newspaper reports that during the Kenya Kwanza brigades, there were forces who really wanted hardliners to join the team. They were pushing for Kimani Ichung'wah. They were pushing for Aaron Cheruiyot, those hardliners. But they were told, no, we want to show seriousness with this team. And that's how William Ruto picked this other team. In fact, it is alleged that Rigathi Gachagua and Ruto disagreed on this particular team. So for me, the inclusion of Kennan, in my view, is intended by Ruto to help them achieve two things. He wants to bring on board Jubilee members to Kenya Kwanza. Remember, by law, Jubilee is in Azimio. And that's why these Azimio are telling them, whatever you are trying to do is not right. But because he's working with Jubilee, he also wants to please them by having one of them in the committee. For me, that's how I'm looking at it. And Azimio and Raila Odinga can take advantage of this. The fact that Adan Kenyan campaigned for Raila, was a key ally of Uhuru Kenyatta, means if he were to be given a choice, because he's a guy who probably loves power, but if he were to be given a choice, he would go for Uhuru Kenyatta rather than going for Ruto. So for me, Azimio can take advantage of that, go into the talks, knowing so well that Adan Kenyan is one of them, but representing the other side, so that he can be used now to always break, even when there is serious issues. But again, I could be wrong. Of course, Ruto is also keen on how do you think Adan Kenyan would sit to discuss that his move to join the Kenya Kwanza is not right? Can he agree to that? I don't think so. And the last thing Edwin Sifuna is saying is that refusal to do anything to the cost of living, or the refusal to do anything to lower the cost of unga, is the deal breaker. You know, when it comes to cost of living, that is something which Azimio can really take advantage of. But William Ruto, being a politician, number one, he cannot accept that his policies, which he introduced when he took power, are not working. And what are these policies? When he took over, the first thing he did was to remove the subsidies and give the subsidies bad name, just the way he gave BBI bad name. After removing the subsidies, then he decided to bring the fertilizers, and then go further to allege that he was going to import maize. As we speak, maize from Zambia is not going to come. We don't know when the GMO maize is going to land into the country from wherever they were landing from. If you were to accept that cost of living is high and he was to introduce the subsidies, a lot of questions are going to be asked. So for me, that is what William Ruto is evading. He doesn't want to accept that his policies have actually failed. And then also remember, there is this subsidies politics. William Ruto claimed that subsidies were issued, farmers never received, then he removed them. You see, as we have been asking, where is those subsidies, the cash or the tax for those subsidies? If people were paying them, then they were removed. Now the government is getting them. Where are those taxes? So that subsidies politics is something William Ruto would also not want to enter into. But importantly, why Ruto is not going to lower cost of living. He's not going to do that, at least for now. Any moment William Ruto will lower the cost of living, Kenyans will assume that he has done that out of pressure from Azimio, that he had to take Azimio effort to actually go ahead and implement or to lower the cost of living. I don't know what you think, but the mere fact that these sentiments came from Edwin Sifuna, in my view, is the most significant thing. I don't know what you think. Let me hear your thoughts on this particular matter. And once again, thank you for watching this video up to this particular stage. If you reached this stage, kindly know that I am very, very grateful, and I welcome you to come and watch the next episode. Thank you, and may you have a good day. Bye-bye.